How do you do, fellow Pokemon trainers? We're back again with more exclusive competitive Pokemon content. Anyway, today we're counting down the top 5 most toxic elements in competitive Pokemon. I'm your host, Toxic Spike Lee, and let's put on our theme music. There we go. So, top 5, number 5, the Toxic Plate. The Toxic Plate provides a 20% boost to Poison-type moves. And when it is attached to our venerable god Arceus, its toxicity is so great that it corrupts even his divine purity. As you can see here, he has no problem in this most vile of forms, corroding everything in his path, standing up in the face of even 6 uber psychic types, wiping through them as mercilessly as the poison that seeps through his veins where blood once ran. As you can see, not even Mew's psychic abilities are able to penetrate his poisonous hide. Neither is the superior clone Mewtwo as that drops, Deoxys drops, Lugia drops. Our last semblance of purity is gone as even the Psychic-type Arceus drops. So, as you can see, Toxic Plate is incredibly toxic for Pokemon. So, moving on to number 4, the Toxic Orb. This enables a similarly toxic ability in Poison Heal, and the gameplay is just as uninteractive as you get, as it inspires skillless, boring strategies like Substitute and Protect. As we can see here from a recent Black and White OU tournament match, then these players are so enamored with their Toxic Orb Poison Heal combination, they want to do nothing but hide behind Substitutes and use Protect, and they have thrown away all vestiges of skill and talent and individualism, as their souls are corroded down more and more with each passing turn, thanks to the bad poison of the Toxic Orb. As eventually they are going to just end up struggling to the death, losing their substitutes in the process. They know that nothing is safe, not even their mind, as the poison seeps in and Breloom goes down. Gliscor wins, but he knows he soon will also be dead. Number 3 is the Toxic Spikes. Entry hazards are a long, hotly, controversially debated topic in competitive Pokemon, and Toxic Spikes' incredible power are just unmatched, as they are able to inflict poison on any grounded Pokemon that is not Steel or Poison type. As if that wasn't enough, these Toxic Poison types are able to remove opposing Toxic Spikes just by switching in on the field, but only if they're grounded. Don't go trying this with Gengar. So, as you can see, then Roserade is able to set up Toxic Spikes, and these similarly toxic non-toxic spikes, which just rip away at the opponent's flesh and HP bars alike, tearing them down from the pillars where they once stood. And Drapion is going to ratchet up the toxicity is seeping through to my brain as well, the uncompetitive factor by phasing the opposing Pokemon around, forcing them to take damage. And with some clever double switches, Roserade is able to finish off Blissey without ever touching it, all thanks to the incredibly toxic, incredibly broken Toxic Spikes and the equally toxic, non-toxic regular Spikes. So, that's been number 3. Number 2, well, you couldn't have a most toxic elements of Pokemon list without the apex of toxicity himself, Toxapex. Now, there are some other pretty toxic Pokemon. Toxicroak is a very bullish frog who likes to throw around gunk shot and whatnot, whereas Toxtricity just screams toxicity with his love for System of a Down and his being in a loud punk band that spews vitriol every which way at respected figures like Pol Pot. However, Toxapex is, well, the Apex. They'll tell you that it's pronounced Apex, but they're lying. I've seen the light, man. Anyway, so here we see a tournament battle where Toxapex solos a completely viable Gen 7 OU team. And you might be thinking, oh no, that's a steel type, Magirna. How could Toxapex's toxicity possibly break through it? Well, first of all, another reason Toxapex is so toxic is its access to toxic spikes. And it also has a similarly toxic move in Scald, which burns on the first try every single time, as you saw here. So the burn is similarly toxic as it erodes the opponent's health. And so there you see the first try burn every single time. And the toxicity is so great that it forces Magirna into giving away its +6/+6 Calm Mind boosts. As if all that toxicity wasn't enough, then Toxapex has a special protect move called Baneful Bunker, which poisons any attacking Pokemon that tries to make contact with it. Or it would have if the toxicity had not already affected the Charizard. Now, Toxapex has a famously toxic ability referred to as, you know it, Merciless, which critical hits every single move that upon an opposing poisoned Pokemon. So that is why it is able to mow through teams like the offensive threat that it is so easily, as you see in this battle. And of course it has just the move Toxic itself for good measure. And I think it's pretty clear where this has all been heading. For the #1 move on the most toxic elements of Pokemon of all time, with Toxapex at #2, we move on to #1, the big T itself, Thunderwave. This has been Toxic Spike Lee, and thank you for watching. Subscribe for more great top 5 and top 10 lists of most toxic, uncompetitive, unfair, unbalanced, war crime elements of Pokemon. And I will be sure to provide more content